Ooh, a scorching way to start off the week across the metro area. Temperatures soared into the upper 90s. DIA reached all the way up to 98 degrees.
There is a heat advisory in effect for the Denver and Boulder areas through this time tomorrow night as people try to stay cool any way they can, Kathy.
And it is indeed summertime, and the summer heat is on for sure. We've got one more day of this before we start to see some changes in the form of thunder showers and also just cooler temperatures. The clouds that rolled in this afternoon offered little relief from the heat. Temperatures are still very warm this hour, but 98 the official at the airport, 99 downtown, 106 at Lamar, 104 in Pueblo, 100 in Burlington, 100 degrees in Sterling. Average highs are in the mid 80s, but we have about 40 million people that are under some type of heat warning or advisory, and the heat advisory for Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, and southeastern Colorado will remain in effect through tomorrow. There's a few thunderstorms to track on the radar tonight. They're moving really quickly to the east, but producing wind and lightning, something that's not helpful when you have high fire danger across the state. There'll be limited moisture tomorrow as the severe threat remains to the north and east of us. Temperatures this evening are still very mild and will stay in the 70s through the overnight hours. We're tracking these isolated gusty storms tonight, but there is a cooler weather trend coming. I'll have that in the extended forecast just ahead.
Aurora police say they stopped a man who was threatening people with a gun at a carnival over the weekend before anyone got hurt.
Hey, drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop it!
This happened Saturday night at the town center. Police say they received reports that Luis Penelos Herrera was upset at workers because they did not let a family member get on a ride due to height requirements. He's now facing several charges. Police say they recovered a loaded gun. We now know the names of two people who were shot and killed at Lake Pueblo State Park early Friday morning, 29-year-old Dustin Courtney and 20-year-old Trevian Lucas. Investigators say the gunman got into a fight with Courtney and then pulled a gun. They don't believe Lucas was involved. CBI is trying to talk to witnesses to identify the shooter.
In southwest Colorado, the city of Ouray has fired its police chief. Jeff Wood had been on paid administrative leave since January after his stepson and two others were charged with sexual assault. Investigators say a 17-year-old girl was assaulted at a party at Wood's home while he slept upstairs. Pardon me, the case made national headlines when papers reporting on the assault were stolen and later returned. Wood's termination is effective immediately. Uray's already named an acting sheriff to replace him. Prosecutors are hoping to collect nearly $120,000 from the police officer and paramedics convicted in the death of Elijah McClain. The Colorado Attorney General's office spent that money on trials for the former first responders. Court documents obtained by 9 News Investigate show the AG's office sought court orders to force now former officer Randy Redeema to pay $67,000. Judge lowered that to $25,000 and ordered him to pay. And they want the former medics Peter Jachuniak and Jeremy Cooper to split a more than $52,000 bill. That request is still pending. Juries acquitted 2 other police officers in McClain's death. They can't be forced to pay any costs.
It has been a hot spot for getting your car stolen, but Denver's airport is actually seeing a decrease in car thefts this year.
City would like to keep it that way. So tonight, City Council approved millions of dollars to help with those investigations. 9 News reporter Kelly Rinke is here with a look at those numbers.
Kyle and Kim, not really a surprise to hear DIA is a target. So many parking spots in one area, cars left for extended periods of time. But this year, the airport is on pace to see hundreds of fewer cars stolen than last year. Denver's airport saw more travelers last year than ever in its history.
We are a target-rich environment.
Millions of people park their cars here before taking off. The unlucky ones come back to find their cars gone.
One auto theft from our, 51,000 parking spaces, that's one too many.
It's why DIA asked City Council for nearly $3 million to help police investigate auto thefts at the airport.
We'll be adding 213 cameras to our parking lots. So it allows us to keep all the recorded events at least 30 days.
Mark Nagel is the Senior VP of Parking and Commercial Transportation. He says efforts like this are a big reason DIA is recording fewer thefts this year than this point last year.
It's just putting all those pieces together to help deter the auto thieves.
They're hoping to send a message after a tough 2023. Numbers from the Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority show there were 704 thefts in the area last year. compared to 396 in 2022.
Yes, there are more incidents there, but that is one of the largest concentrations of cars in probably the whole state.
Cale Gould with CATPA says while DIA saw an increase last year, numbers went down statewide.
You know, for a long time, people were reporting about some of the dramatic thefts at DIA, those large numbers, and these heard that.
So many cars in one place is appealing. DIA hopes increasing patrols and adding cameras will keep thieves away.
And it's something we are constantly thinking of.
DIA saw a drop in thefts in late 2023. This happened after police stopped an auto theft ring, arresting 13 people for stealing 55 cars. The airport hopes to launch those new cameras next summer. Kelly Rinke, 9 News.
The TSA just had its busiest day ever. Yesterday, they screened nearly 3 million people nationwide. It's going to be a busy July 4th holiday. TSA says they expect to screen more than 32 million passengers in the days leading up to and after the holiday. That would be nearly 5.5% increase over last year's holiday period. This Friday is expected to be the busiest day to fly.
Over the next few nights, RTD will be making track repairs to sections of the Southeast Corridor light rail line. That's where trains have been creeping along at 10 miles per hour. That work is going to lead to some service disruptions on the E and R lines from 11 p.m. through 6 a.m. Bus shuttles will replace those train routes. The delays and cancellations are expected to continue through Thursday morning. RTD had trouble with some of its electrical lines today as well, and we only know that because of South Metro Fire. Firefighters say the electrical lines for RTD's light rail were smoking between County Line and Lincoln. You have no way of knowing that from the RTD alert, which simply said that shuttle buses would replace the E&R lines because of quote-unquote fire department activity. It's not clear what caused smoke to come off those RTD lines. RTD says the issue's been resolved. 2 years ago today, the U.S. Supreme Court made a landmark decision.
They overturned Roe v. Wade, ending constitutional protections for abortions. It's an issue still at the forefront of American politics.
Today we are here to say enough is enough.
Dozens of women gathered today on the steps of the state capitol to protest that ruling. This was one of many gatherings around the country held today. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause is following the story for us. And Rachel, despite the Dobbs decision, demand for abortion care is rising.
Yeah, more than 1 million pregnant people had an abortion last year. That's the highest number in more than a decade. Many of those women are traveling out of state for that care, including here to Colorado.
This decision 2 years ago really did pave the way for a national reproductive health care crisis that we are still navigating today.
I should have known, but I didn't expect it would be as drastic as it is.
2 years post-Roe, what once was a right now for many is restricted. Von Bollock with Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains says as women travel across the country to access care, they're stretched thin.
Abortion care workers are suffering. Providers are overworked. This environment just isn't sustainable.
In the last 2 years, Planned Parenthood has seen more than 7,000 patients come to Colorado for an abortion. Nearly 1 in 3 patients have come from out of state.
We have patients crossing state lines, risking criminalization, hopping on a plane for the first time in their life. We're driving 600 miles with their sleepy kids in the back seat. These are really big journeys that our patients are making.
Cobalt Abortion Fund helps women here and around the country access abortion care.
I think that our work has gotten more urgent and important.
Cobalt's president, Karen Middleton, says demand is only rising.
It's not just abortion care, it's also a broader spectrum of health care, ectopic pregnancies, miscarriage management, and basic reproductive health care that they thought they could get in their home state, and they're being turned away.
Middleton and Bollock say if something doesn't change, the limited abortion access we have now may be chipped away.
As more states move to ban abortion, and as we see the outcome of this next election, it is possible that we will lose even more access.
As the future of abortion care remains in flux nationally, here in Colorado, the question of whether to protect abortion rights in the state constitution will go before voters in November. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
CU Denver has a new research center dedicated to studying psychedelics. They'll look at the mental and physical health impacts of magic mushrooms there, and also study the impact of the drug on the economy when regulations passed in Prop 122 go into effect this year.